Welcome back to the channel, the project. My name is Scott. So this morning we are heading off to Brunswick, Maryland to visit Beans in the Belfry, which is a really nice coffee shop right in town. Brunswick, Maryland's a little city, basically, right next to the Potomac River. It used to be an active rail yard back in the day, up through until the early 1980s, and then really became more of a bedroom community for commuting into the city, and then coming back for those who prefer to be a little farther out. So the city is a little quiet in the city center, but Beans in the Belfry, which is located at an old Reformist church, has some lovely coffee and a lot of baked goods that they produce themselves, which always appeals to me. And so I've been a couple of times and enjoyed each and every visit. Thought it would be great to go ahead and share that with all of you before we head off to a state park and then ultimately end up in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. So a little bit of a loop. Enjoy what has turned out to be a beautiful day, and enjoy some nice tasty roads again, and end up in a nice place for lunch. So let's head on into Brunswick here, and I'll show you around. Well, that was an enjoyable stop at Beans in Belfry. As always, I had a very nice mocha, and they had some croissants which looked really good, so I went ahead and got one of those, and they were very nice to heat it up for me. Both were very enjoyable. Something else, if you're interested about Brunswick, Maryland, is that the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal actually passes right by it, and technically, I guess you could say, through the city. Now it's, of course, often referred to as the C&O towpath, which it has been converted to cycling and walking trails and so forth. It basically starts in Washington, D.C. and extends out to Cumberland, Maryland for a total of about 185 miles or so. And if you continue with it, you can go ahead and hook up with the Great Allegheny Passage, which actually can take you out to Pittsburgh for a total of 355 miles of walking and cycling paths, and is, from all accounts, a great way to spend some time, either doing parts of it, or I know a few folks who've actually done in stages all of it and really enjoyed themselves. So worth checking out if you're a cyclist and you enjoy that sort of stuff. So where we're going to head off now is to a state park in the Catoctin Mountains, which is really not that far away. So we're going to be heading up as we are right now on Route 17, Route 17 North, that is, and pass through or go through Burkittsville, and then head up into the Catoctin Mountains a few miles to a state park which is really very beautiful, has a lot of walking trails as well, although today, as I'm in my full leathers, I'm not going to be doing too much walking, but is something, again, that if you enjoy it, it is a wonderful place to spend a little bit of time. The Appalachian Trail actually passes directly through it. And the gentleman who actually helped design and build the structures that are remaining was in fact a Civil War correspondent and then novelist, during Reconstruction. Let's go ahead and stop with that. Make sure I'm being safe. As I said, was a very popular and very well-known author, novelist, playwright, etc. during the Reconstruction period. Knew Mark Twain very well, etc. And this was his mountain retreat to get away from the pressures of Washington, D.C., where he was a correspondent. I think you'd all will enjoy it very much. It's a lovely place to have a picnic as well. There's some wonderful picnic tables, and just a great place to spend a little bit of time and decompress. So we're going to head out there next, and let's go check it out and show you what it has to offer. Welcome to Gathland State Park. I think you'd agree it's a really beautiful place to spend some time, particularly on a day like today where we've got just spectacular weather. Behind me is the monument that I was talking about earlier, and something that is definitely worth checking out. Also worth checking out are some of the wonderful roads here in the Catoctin Mountains. Not that far away north is actually Camp David, which is the president's weekend home, and as a consequence, the roads and so forth are kept up to a really high standard here. And as a consequence, coming with your motorcycle, your sports car, or frankly, whatever you've got, is really definitely worth your time. In addition to spending time here, having a picnic, and checking out the history of this particular area. So let's go ahead and now, I think, head due east and a little bit south, make our way over to Harpers Ferry, but spend some time on some really nice roads again, over on our way back to, or not back to, excuse me, over to West Virginia. So let's go make that happen. Basically where we are is just outside of Harpers Ferry, which is known for a couple of things. The John Brown raid of 1859 on one of two armories in the United States at that time, the other being in Springfield, Massachusetts, and the events that unfolded during that raid and subsequent to it. In addition to that, Harpers Ferry has become not just a tourist attraction, but also very much a location with a great many buildings that are defined as National Historic Structures. So they have been kept up very nicely and look really beautiful, particularly on a day like today. So let's go ahead and head into Harpers Ferry itself and take a look at some of the beautiful buildings and go ahead and grab some lunch. Part of the way home and found a quiet spot with which to stop and take a bit of a break in the shade. I thought I would go ahead and sign off with you all. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you can. There'll certainly be more videos to come. Please subscribe if you'd like to be alerted to them. Most importantly, please go ahead and create your own adventure and let us know in the comments below what you did and who you shared it with. That's actually very important. And then, of course, I will have, excuse me, a traditional written review of Beans of the Belfry, and also where we stopped for lunch. I'll also include some information about the state park that we visited up in Maryland. It's really beautiful. You should check it out if you're in the area, or if you come into town and visit. It's definitely worth spending some time, and it's not actually very far away. And I'll again include that information below for you to pick up and read if you wish. So until next time, ciao.